Hello, and welcome back to LEGO Custom Reviews. I'm Michael Casey. So first, right off the bat, I want to thank you all for the enormous amount of support I got on my last video. You guys are really the best. I'd also like to ask that all those people who were really watching all that last video so much, just please subscribe. It would really help me out a lot. Thank you. So, first, spoilers for She-Hulk Episode 2. But there's a minor reference to Wolverine in there. So, in honor of that, why don't we do this video based on one of my new X-Men figures. Welcome, Professor X. This is based on a new Multiverse of Madness pack that I got, which you will be shown many of over the next few videos. So, let's begin. Now this figure, it's mostly good. There's one very fatal flaw that I'll go over in a minute. But, let's start with the figure himself. Now the figure comes with two heads. Normally, a LEGO figure with two faces will have a second face printed on the back. But as he's bald, so he doesn't have a hairpiece or a helmet piece, they just printed it on the front for him. They just printed it on the second face for him. So, there's this, the main piece, which just shows him shows him giving a regular face. And then this, which shows him with his eyes closed for the kind of thing that he does. So, this is a pretty detailed figure. It has chest printing, front leg printing, back chest printing, and arm printing. It does not have side leg, back leg, or side chest printing, which a lot of custom figures have. But it isn't disappointing that this one doesn't have it, as it's still a very good figure. And of course, he's only just in a suit, so there's not really much for them to do there. Now the suit is very detailed. You can see a lot of little lines on it that make it look very detailed. And in some instances, I can kind of see why people would think it's a bit overdone, but I don't really think it is. I think it's able to get very realistic while also keeping a good tone where it's not too much. So, I think while there isn't really much to say about the main minifigure himself, I do think he's definitely a good one. And he is kind of done so he can do the kind of I don't know, that kind of expression he does, and he's meant to do it with this headpiece. Now, unlike every other custom minifigure I've gotten, Professor X has a wheelchair. Well, a hover chair. So the main thing of this set was building this, which comes in a surprisingly large amount of pieces, while also being able to maintain a small, being relatively small and just enough, that it works for Professor X without being too much. So, now this wheelchair, it's pretty good. I think it's really able to kind of capture the look of it using this piece to kind of get the kind of front molding in very well, and using the the curved pieces on the bottom to really get the bottom looking good, while also leaving a space so you can put it on a platform, like the regular kind of black platform that most custom minifigures come with. But now this custom minifigure did not come with a platform, but I mean, I've got some extras, so it works pretty well with one. And as I said, I really like the back here. I think it's able to capture it very well. The shoulder pads are pretty good. Now while the wheelchair itself and the minifigure itself are mostly good, the two of them together create the one fatal flaw that really brings this figure down for me. He can't actually sit in the wheelchair. There's a problem with his legs. As you can notice here, there's some kind of slight plastic problems on the hole, showing low quality plastic. and low quality kind of like creation of it that makes it so he can't sit in the wheelchair properly. Really brings it down. The fact that he's like always shaking it. I can't move him without him like shaking about in the wheelchair, where he should be just able to sit in it like any other Lego minifigure in it on any set of 4 bricks. But even then, at least he can fit. At least he fits well in it, so you can have. So when he's sitting there like not moving at all, he looks good in it. Now, this minifigure, it mostly doesn't, but it does have a little bit of the common problem with custom figures, where his limbs, here they move about a little bit too freely, especially on this arm in particular. They don't feel as in place as a regular minifigure, but they're not as stiff or as loose as some custom figures can be, because at points they're pretty much just like flying all around or just completely won't move. But here, he's very close to a regular minifigure, but it's definitely noticeable that his arms and legs have some problems. So the real thing that cost this figure is definitely the way he doesn't sit in the wheelchair. Like, by a lot. That very much hurts it. That brings this figure down to, I give him 3 stars out of 5. Because he does look very good, look very accurate and really good, but he just doesn't sit in the wheelchair. Plus, there are the other minor problems I mentioned with his arms and legs moving a bit weirdly. And while I don't think it has a real printing problem, I can definitely see why some people would say the chest and legs are a bit overdone. So yeah, I give this a 3 out of 5 stars. Buy if you can find it at a good price. But yeah, only if you can find it at a pretty cheap price. This figure for me was $2, which I'd say for that price is a buy, but for anything more, probably not. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.